Once the rain is over, an umbrella becomes a burden. Think about that for a second. The day a blind man finally sees, the very first thing he throws away is the cane that guided him. When the sun rises, we just lean over and blow out the candle that got us through the dark. And here is the harsh, unspoken truth about human nature. That is exactly how loyalty ends for a lot of people. It ends the absolute second the benefits stop. Welcome back to Paperweight Thoughts. I'm Alex, and I am here to help you navigate the messy, exhausting realities of adulting without the toxic positivity. Let's just talk about what's actually happening in your life. Because if you are a chronically empathetic person, you have probably been the umbrella. We have all played that role. You know exactly the dynamic I'm talking about. You are the crisis manager friend. The one who drops everything to answer the frantic phone call at 2 in the morning, listening to them cry over the same problems for hours. You are the over-delivering coworker who silently picks up the slack so the manager doesn't panic, sacrificing your own evening just to make sure things run smoothly. Or maybe you are the late-night therapist for an ex who just can't seem to get their life together without your constant advice. You are useful. You are reliable. You keep the rain off their heads. But here is our instinctual blind spot. Here is where the trap snaps shut on the people pleaser. When the storm finally passes for them, when they get the new job, or they find a new relationship, or their anxiety just temporarily settles down, they suddenly stop calling. They stop caring. The text messages go from desperate emotional paragraphs to hollow one-word answers. The invitations to hang out completely dry up. You are left sitting there in the silence, completely drained. And what is our default reaction to that silence? Total panic. Our anxious inner monologue immediately starts spinning out of control. We think, what did I do wrong? Are they mad at me? Was I not supportive enough? Did I overstep? We immediately internalize their absence as a direct reflection of our own worth. We start mentally reviewing every conversation we've had for the past month, desperately looking for the exact moment we messed up. So, because we feel like we are losing them, we double down. We try to give even more. We text them saying, "Hey, just checking in. Did I do something to upset you?" We over-accommodate. We offer to help them move, or we offer to edit their resume, or we buy them dinner just to get them in the same room again. We exhaust ourselves trying to prove our value to win them back. But let's be radically honest for a second and look at the underlying psychological game here. If your chest tightens just hearing this, I completely get it. But your default reaction of trying to fix things is failing because there is actually nothing to fix. You didn't do anything wrong. You simply served your purpose. You kept them dry. The rain stopped. And now holding on to you feels like extra effort to them. It is a deeply painful pill to swallow. But recognizing that you are dealing with someone who views relationships purely as transactions is the very first step to getting your peace of mind back. So, I have to ask you, have you ever felt like someone only loved you for how useful you were to them? Like your entire worth to them was wrapped up in what you could fix, provide, or tolerate? Let me know in the comments below. Be honest about it, because today, we are going to learn exactly how to stop being everyone's emotional appliance. When you finally realize that you are being treated like an appliance, your anxiety immediately goes into overdrive. We fall into what I call the instinctual trap of the nice guy or the nice girl. We desperately mistake someone's temporary dependence on us for genuine lifelong loyalty. Let's look at how this actually plays out in your everyday life, because I know you have lived through these exact micro moments. You know the emotional vampire friend. This is the person whose name pops up on your phone, and it is always a crisis. When they are going through a messy breakup, they are texting you literal paragraphs. They need you to validate them, to soothe them, to agree that their ex is terrible. But the second you get a promotion at work, or you just need to vent about a deeply frustrating day, crickets. You are left on red for 3 days, and when they finally reply, it's just a generic reaction. Or think about the corporate world. Think about the manager who calls you an absolute rock star when you are grinding at your desk until 8 at night, desperately trying to cover for a coworker who suddenly quit. They praise your dedication. They tell you that you are the glue holding the entire team together. But the minute your annual review rolls around and you ask for a raise to match that extra workload, they suddenly develop corporate amnesia. If your chest tightens just hearing those scenarios, I completely get it. But let's look at our low EQ default reaction. What does our inner people pleaser do when we feel them pulling away? We default to a trauma response known as fawning. We are terrified of the silence, so we over-accommodate. We start double texting. We send that incredibly anxious, needy message. Usually, we reach out and say, "Hey, just wanted to make sure we're okay. Did I do something to upset you?" We swallow our resentment, and we try to perform for them all over again, just to buy back their attention. We are desperately trying to prove our worth after the rain has stopped. Let's take a psychological X-ray of this dynamic and strip away the emotion. Why does this default reaction fail so miserably? It fails because you are trying to negotiate with someone's convenience. When you over-apologize to a boss or a friend who is using you, you aren't showing them your immense value. You are showing them your absolute lack of boundaries. You are signaling to them that they can treat you like an option, and you will continue to treat them like a priority. Here is the harsh but liberating truth. Emotionally intelligent people do not play this game. When a high EQ person feels someone pulling away after they've gotten what they needed, they realize that the transaction has simply concluded. They do not take the silence personally. They recognize that silence for exactly what it is: data. Pure, objective data about how this person operates. Instead of panicking, a high EQ person simply matches the other person's energy. Usually, when someone ghosts us and comes back weeks later, needing another favor, our default is to say, "Oh, no worries at all. I'm just glad you're back. How can I help?" Instead, try saying, "I'm glad things settled down for you. I'm focusing on my own projects right now and don't have the space to take anything else on, but I hope you are doing well." Pause for a second and notice the shift there. Why does that specific phrasing work? Because it immediately neutralizes the power dynamic. It shows them that you are unfazed, that your world does not stop spinning just because they stopped needing you. It signals that your peace is more important than their comfort, and that you are officially closed for free service. To really understand why you have to close up shop and stop offering yourself up on a silver platter, we have to look through a very specific psychological lens. We have to strip away all the emotion, all the guilt, and analyze the underlying game of why someone actually views you as a burden once they are healed or successful. It comes down to this. Human beings assign two entirely different types of value to their relationships. The first is intrinsic value. This is the holy grail. This means they love you simply for who you are. You could sit on their couch in absolute silence, offer zero life advice, do absolutely nothing for them, and they would still desperately want you in the room. Your actual presence is the prize. The second is instrumental value. This means they love you strictly for what you can do for them. You are a tool. You are a mechanism for their comfort. You are the umbrella. They do not actually want you. They just want the shelter you provide. And this brings us to the most heartbreaking ego trap for the chronic people pleaser. When we operate from a place of low emotional intelligence, our anxious, over-accommodating brain completely lies to us. We convince ourselves that we can somehow earn their intrinsic affection through hard labor. You know the inner monologue I am talking about. We silently tell ourselves, if I can just fix this one last massive crisis for them, if I take on this extra project to save my boss, if I always pay for dinner, if I become the absolute most useful person in their entire life, then they will finally see my worth. We secretly believe that if we provide enough instrumental value, it will magically cross an invisible bridge and transform into intrinsic love. Here is the harsh but incredibly liberating truth. If your chest just tightened hearing that, I completely get it. But let's be radically honest. That magical bridge does not exist. It never has, Overgiving does not create love. It creates a transaction. You are not proving your undeniable worth to them. You are simply training them to treat you like a highly efficient, entirely free service. Think about your Wi-Fi router. You only ever think about it or give it attention when it stops working. When it is functioning perfectly, quietly providing you with exactly what you need, it is completely invisible to you. And human nature dictates that no one feels loyal to a service once they don't need it anymore. In fact, when their life finally gets better, your constant presence actually reminds them of the messy, dark place they were in. You become a living, breathing reminder of their weakness. So, they toss the umbrella. We have to stop trying to negotiate our way into being loved. Usually, when we sense we are just being used for our utility, we swallow our resentment and say something passive-aggressive like, "After everything I have done for you, I can't believe you are ignoring me." We try to guilt them into staying. Instead, the next time you feel the desperate urge to fix someone's life just to keep them around, try doing a blind test for intrinsic value. Pause for 3 seconds. Keep your voice completely neutral and just ask, "Hey, I notice we usually only connect when you need to vent about a crisis. I'd love to just hang out as friends this week. Are you open to grabbing a coffee with no heavy trauma dumping?" Notice exactly what you did there. You didn't accuse them. You didn't start a fight. You simply withdrew the free emotional service and offered them a purely intrinsic invitation. And if they suddenly dodge that coffee, if they are too busy to just sit with you in the sun, you have your answer. You are not a bad person for choosing your peace over their comfort. You just finally stopped applying for a job you were never going to get. So, how do we actually put this into practice when the pressure is on? We need to open up the high EQ playbook and talk about exactly how you cut off the free supply. And I know, for a chronic people pleaser, the very idea of setting a boundary feels like you are detonating a bomb in the middle of a relationship. You are terrified of a massive, guilt-ridden explosion, but you have to learn how to politely, yet firmly, withdraw your benefits, just to see who actually sticks around. Let's look at 2 incredibly common scenarios and get very tactical. Scenario number 1, the one-sided friend. We all know the crisis caller. This is the person who completely ghosted you when their life was going great, but suddenly your phone lights up on a Tuesday night. The text says, "Everything is falling apart. I need you right now." Let's look at our low EQ default. Your inner monologue immediately starts spinning. You feel a massive wave of anxiety. But honestly, you also feel a twisted little rush of validation. You silently tell yourself, "They need me. I have to be there. If I don't answer, I am a terrible friend." So, you swallow your exhaustion. Usually, we text back and say, "Oh my God, what happened? Call me right now." You drop absolutely everything. You internalize your resentment, and you spend 3 hours fixing their life all over again. Let's take a psychological X-ray of that choice. By doing that, you are actively rewarding their absence. You are confirming to them that they can treat you like a complete afterthought when things are sunny, and you will still give them premium level shelter when it rains. We have to change the script. The next time this happens, I want you to pause for 3 seconds, take a deep breath, and send this exact text. Instead of offering up your evening, try saying, "Hey, I am so sorry you are going through it right now. I don't have the emotional bandwidth to hop on a call tonight, but I am sending you good vibes. Let's catch up next week when things settle." Notice what is missing from that text. There is no over-explaining. There is no frantic apologizing for your own boundary. You are offering them warmth, but you are utterly refusing to offer yourself as a free therapist. You are testing if they can respect your limits without throwing a tantrum. Now, scenario number 2, the exploitative workplace. You know the exact trap I am talking about. It is the Friday afternoon conversation with your manager, where they pile on extra work but beautifully disguise it as a compliment. They say, "You are an absolute rock star. You are the only one I trust to handle this." Our low EQ default is immediate panic. We think, if I say no, they will think I'm not a team player, I'll get passed up for the promotion, I just have to keep the peace. So, we smile through the pain. Usually, we say, Sure, I'll figure it out. No problem at all. And the result is silent, crushing burnout. Let's strip away the corporate jargon. This is weaponized competence. They are using praise to mask exploitation. Here is your high EQ script. Instead of just taking it on the chin, look them in the eye, keep your voice completely neutral, and try saying this: I really appreciate the trust. I want to make sure this gets the attention it deserves. Right now, I am at absolute capacity with projects A and B. Which of those would you like me to pause so I can focus on this new one? Look at the psychological power of that response. You didn't say no. You didn't act defensive. You simply forced them to manage the very real limits of your capacity. You handed the burden of prioritization right back to the person who is actually paid to manage it. You protected your peace, and you forced them to treat you like a human being, not a machine. When you actually start using these scripts, when you finally stop acting like everyone's personal assistant, it is going to feel terrifying. Let's be radically honest for a second. It hurts deeply to realize that someone you cared about, someone you poured hours of your life into, only ever viewed you as an umbrella. And when they pull away because you stopped providing that free service, our low EQ default is immediate, crushing guilt. Your anxious inner monologue kicks in and you start thinking, maybe I was too harsh. Maybe I am just being selfish. I shouldn't have pushed back. You feel this desperate, nagging urge to reach out, to apologize for having a boundary, and to pull them back into your life by offering to fix something for them. We silently swallow our own progress because, for a chronic people pleaser, the temporary loneliness of losing them feels so much worse than the exhaustion of being used by them. But let's take a psychological X-ray of that exact feeling. Why does it hurt so much? It hurts because you are grieving a fantasy. You are grieving the illusion that if you just worked hard enough, they would finally love you for who you are. But here is the harsh, incredibly liberating truth. When someone gets angry at you for setting a boundary, they are just upset that they can no longer exploit you. The relationship was already over. You just finally stopped funding it, and they will try to guilt trip you. When you stop being so aggressively accommodating, they will inevitably push back. Usually, when someone says, "Wow, you have really changed. You used to be so much more supportive," our default is to panic. We usually start over-explaining and say, "Oh no, I am still supportive. I am so sorry. I have just been a little stressed lately. What do you need?" Instead, the next time someone tries to shame you for having a backbone, I want you to hold your ground, keep your voice completely neutral, and try saying this: "You are right, I have changed. I am focusing on building healthier balances in my life right now, and I appreciate you understanding that." Pause right there for 3 seconds and just let the silence hang. Notice why this works. You are completely disarming their weapon. You are agreeing with their accusation, but you are entirely removing the shame from it. You are stepping behind your shield and refusing to apologize for your own evolution. Now, if your chest tightens just hearing that, if setting these boundaries makes your heart race, or if you struggle with exactly what to say when people try to guilt trip you, please know that you are not alone. It takes real practice to rewrite years of people-pleasing. I highly recommend picking up the book Set Boundaries, Find Peace by Nedra Glover Tawwab. It is basically the ultimate survival toolkit for recovering people-pleasers, and it gives you even more exact scripts to protect your peace. I'll drop a link to it in the description below. Because here is the most beautiful part of all of this. Once you stop auditioning for your worth, you can finally stop waiting for thunderstorms just to feel useful. You get your energy back. You get your life back. And you can finally go find the people who actually want to walk in the sun with you. You are worth so much more than just what you can do for other people. I'm Alex, and I'm here to help you get a little stronger and a little more peaceful every single day. Hit subscribe if you want to figure this life out together. See you in the next one.